At a conference that I wasn't always talkative. I was just insightful, inquisitive, inquiring about today's lesson plans, just to go home and train my tongue to have a more conscientious, be quiet and listen reflex. When I sat in the back of Miss Collins' class, in deep conversation with Ashley about how the title of her twin was labeled as sin, like I didn't know the definition of sincere, of grace, of mercy, of dry bones that once lived here. I've given it a little time and trust God's lesson plans. Miss Collins told me, come here, confused. I asked, how did you hear? She said, your voice carries weight. And someone is always listening. I need you, my son, to pay attention. Pay attention to the lesson plans. Then maybe you can see how God gave you responsibility over the very thing he calls a whisper. How your voice carries enough weight to turn a classroom into a comedy show in a matter of 1, 2, 3 days. I meant seconds. My mistake. You see, these crowds are my fans reaching for my hymn, but how holy is my song? I told him I'm sorry. My sarcastic humor is all I brought from home that day. I'll get to working on it. You see, it took me back to recess when I paid the price for not paying attention, watching the other kids play, because I had removed the clip from my tongue, praying that there will be no casualties to suffer that day, because when I made it home, there will be hell to pay. Y'all, my mama don't play. If only I had paid attention. If only I had chosen more carefully. If only we had chosen more carefully. Like when the head of Dominion reached for leaves in a game of hide and seek after eating from that tree, if only he chose more carefully. Not on the choices of how to cloak his sin, but on the words he stood on as a man when cuddling with his rib with each rebuttal that she said. I wonder how many times it rung in his head. The words of no man, knowledge of good and evil, life and death. Or had it just become white noise? You know, like a hiss from the serpent's lips. God's sentences somehow subdued as syllables. Those same sentences, when chosen more carefully, they carry the weight of the silence my Father speaks. A double-edged sword that pierces my skin and calls my nephews into men. Because the sooner you understand that you preach the gospel by the steps you take, not by the words you articulate, and sometimes the echoes of those steps come back to haunt you. That's the moment you realize that someone is always paying attention. Hey, how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? So I think like that piece is so ironic and so funny. And I was talking to a fellow poet the other day, and he was we were talking about just the art of writing, how sometimes it can be therapeutic, but sometimes, you know, God could be telling you to write, to jot down a word, and you don't know what it's for, right? And it's not until you go back and you reflect on it later on in life that you kind of see the totality of everything. It all kind of comes full circle. That comes full circle for me, because now here I am on a day-to-day basis teaching to these little kids in middle school, and it's like a piece of me that's healing the younger part of me that I never had. You know, I see these little black boys, and I work with special ed, and I think about who they'll be years later down in the future, Lord. And when the cops pass them, when other adults pass them, and I just try to give them tools that they need to be successful in life. And I think about how important it was that one teacher, Miss Collins, to sit me down and let me know how important your voice is, because she's seen the tools that I would need later on in life. So I'm gonna give y'all another piece. Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay. October 6th, November 6th, but you see us together and you swear on it that a month apart don't make a difference. And you blood, bro. Don't forget it. Whether hell or high water, man, we learn to swim. Whether time or distance, it don't make a difference. I got a code of commitment, just like genetics. And if we riding out, I'ma roll with it. Because it's been 4 years, things a little different. You taking care of you, and I'm taking care of tuition. But I still hit you up with my girl tripping like, bruh, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. See, me and my girl, we just got into a fight. So to tell the truth, I ain't thinking right. I'm going to find me a bad one, and she ain't got to be wifey. But I got 4 guarantees she'll remember the night. So me and my partner's about to hit this party. And we pull up to a mansion. I'm like, who this be? That's when this homeboy hop in the back seat, and we dap up on that nice to meet. And he asks me, "Hey, you smoke?" I say, "No, kinfolk." Knowing that we all got a choice and we make decisions and life has a consequence for what we live in. He say, "Bet, I can respect that. But their mind is on a mission. And God here is my witness. That full moon, it was listening. They was talking about hitting licks, man, but they soul was searching for something different. But I never been a cool kid, so I was cool with it. I just listened. They got me steady running from my problems. Steady running, but they keep on calling. Steady running, can't face my goblins. Steady running, just praying we don't fall, man. Stuck on stupid, living inside the moment. Soon to forget it, but yet I really want it. Later, this void is empty, and the thought I can't stomach. Living in fatality or living by depravity. Because the longer I wait, my dreams are passing me. So I'm stuck between now and then. I could care or I could care less. Lord, I'm coming back to you. I just don't know when. So while they rolling out, we own it. Can't nobody take this moment. They gonna kill they buzz or blow they high. No, sir, we turning up tonight. And it's all green as we proceed. That Chevron on our left, that school is on our right. We make it past that light, and it go them strobe lights. So we steady running from my problems. Steady running, but they keep on calling. Steady running, can't face my goblins. Steady running, just praying we don't fall, man. Steady running from my problems. Steady running, mama keep calling. Steady running, can't face my goblins. Steady running, and all I hear is God talking. Appreciate y'all. I hadn't done that piece in so long, so I appreciate y'all's patience. So yeah, man. Despite what my teachers were telling me, and all the signs and omens that I was getting in life, I was still just a knuckleheaded, hard-headed little boy choosing to do whatever it was I wanted to do. And it's funny how God allows you grace in a space for just so long. He puts you on a leash, so soon one day you'll have to return back to him, you know. But I didn't recognize that at the time. You know, you don't see rock bottom until you hit the bottom, right? It's just darkness and you just grasping for straws. Me grasping for straws was trying to find hope in anything that I could, whether it be women, whether it be money, whether it be a title. And it's funny because I crossed the scripture. Actually, before I go there, let me give y'all some love pieces. Y'all want some love pieces? Let me lighten the mood just a little bit. So I seen you at a coffee shop as I scroll through Instagram. We had discussed lattes and cappuccinos and hallways filled with adolescent screams. That's when you drew my curiosity. Peculiar in the way you just being you, still and silent, but yet your loitering presence pressed persistently beyond the walls, past the principal's office and into the halls. Now you're here, right here, next to me. And I asked, was there a time and a place we could meet? You shrugged your shoulders and said, possibly. Now my mind progresses, pondering the mystery of everything you're made up to be. As I tap next on my screen in the passing seconds, I gave the thought a chance, like why not stop by and say hi? Now my mind progresses, pondering the mystery of everything you're made up to be. As I tap next on my screen in the passing seconds, I gave the thought a chance, like why not stop by and say hi? I walk in and then I get a whiff like a scratch and sniff of all those pics on your feed. But in truth, this place is so quaint and quintessential, leaving me to question, is this a part of your daily commute or just something that was close to you? An anomaly, simply put, amongst eclectic complexities, not just a caramel macchiato basic. No, you are more of an iced white chocolate mocha. And the way you send chills down my spine, I can see you so sweet. Your brown skin is everything that I need. I can't wait to taste it. And I notice that you're perched between daydreams and that window seat, while those stacks of papers have you held bound to the gravity of reality. Such a sad sight to see you grading papers amongst the scent of espresso beans. So I place my order, I grab my phone, I walk past you real slow. Sorry, Dave, what did you say? And in the passing seconds, the miracles of our lives predestined. Excuse me, God, will you take this one suggestion? Because I'm as smooth as Jamba Juice in the food court section. What are the chances this be our latest interaction? Oh, wow, hey, what are you doing here? We awkwardly hug with a blissful laugh as I extend a helping hand. Yeah, Robbie, he sounds like a good kid. I'm taking keynotes as you tell me about your class. I find myself now grading papers to the scent of espresso beans. And this means everything. I notice how you shift in your seat. Your nails are so neat. The squint in your smile that complements the dimples on your cheek. Now I done gave Robbie a C when really he was supposed to be getting a B. Sorry, it's just hard to focus with you next to me. The sounds of blenders hides my rapid heartbeat like alarms that ring in school hallways. It's a shock when they call my name. Terrified, I leap out my seat. I really can't explain this that you're doing to me, because I'm in love with the seconds that have caused a slight inconvenience. Because now, here I am, grading papers to the scent of espresso beans. And honestly, I had somewhere else to be, but I had to put a pause on destiny. Because tomorrow, what's a heartbeat if the moments between don't have you holding on to the thought of me? Life will be just another buried espresso bean. So much flavor planted, but never rooted in the riches of souls, a long-lasting foundation. And honestly, I can't have that for me, and I would never want you to experience the same thing. So I take a seat, I pull you close to me, I proposition, we grab something to eat. Maybe after everything is complete, you offer to reschedule till next week. In a fluster, you grab your keys, they dance like butterflies in spring. I open your door, as you take a seat. Your car smells so good and looks so clean. I kiss your lips, and our souls meet. My mind is in disbelief because this is more than I ever thought it would be. I close my eyes as I breathe, and I thank God for IG. Yeah. How y'all feeling? All right, I'm gonna give y'all another love piece. This one's not as long, all right? I think it's PG. I'm gonna try to keep it PG. I think the kids are all right. Your lips whisper the truth behind your heartbeat when we kiss. Your passion is persistent. I can feel it within the soul of your hips, a metronome that makes my heart drop, like when the sun runs out of bliss on nights such as this, under a blanket of stars, when the world is on pause and our night begins. How y'all feeling? All right. So like I was saying, I was choosing to do whatever I wanted to do. Ultimately, that led to my demise. I started getting caught up in women and the lust of the eyes. And I came across this one scripture. It's in Proverbs 7, and it talks about this young man who ends up getting into a relationship with a woman who's married. And ultimately, that leads to his demise. It's like a father almost talking to a child. And it says, through falling through this temptation, it leads to death. And that resonated with me so much because I found myself in that same situation. You see, when I die, it's going to be because of something preventable. Some sort of misstep that led to some awkward situation. How do I know? Because I've always been clumsy like this. unable to avoid awkward situations. So here I am. Oh, y'all mind if I rewind? I appreciate y'all.
Yes.
When I die, it's going to be because of something preventable. Some sort of misstep that led to some awkward situation. How do I know? Because I've always been clumsy like this, unable to avoid awkward situations. So here I am, watching these walls cave in, these thoughts, and my bed got me reeled in. It is 3 a.m. And my grandmother told me not to stay in this darkness too long. Our eyes met, and my thoughts, my dreams, my prayers, but I never listened. Another awkward situation. Like, how did I get here? I said I wasn't going to be with another man's wife, so how did you get here? I was here for business, not pleasure, but the seat in the back of the room, the only one was next to you. I tell myself that from memory, but is it true? Are my eyes playing me the fool? Eyes on me, so I race to my seat because I don't do well with awkward situations. Avoiding the eyes of the crowd I have yet to meet. My peers, a jury, unbeknownst to me, the trial is here. I take a seat at the bar, order a drink, as you strike a conversation. I try to be polite, but really, I just want to hear the speaker speak, and you want to hear me speak my name like you'll be able to hear in this loud room full of people. All these glasses crashing, the sounds of their hollow insides trembling the madness in my mind. But cheers, right? Like the bartender next to me, you say something, you're a Christian. Something peculiar as I continue sipping. The next time we meet, same time, same place. This time I extend my grace in order to avoid an awkward situation. I invite you into our booth. You come shuffling with a plate of food, your cheeks filled with chicken wings, and we listen to the speaker speak. Then you cross me, asking me about my relationship with Jesus, taking me away from these four walls. I brush it off just to double back with the second question you ask. Ma'am, I'm just here for business, not looking to be your savior, so I keep it brief, only there to plant a seed. But y'all, I was never good at gardening. Instead, I study the process of this photogenic photosynthesis that digs deep within the depths of my soul, and from the dirt, a flower grows. Like if you tilt your head, the way the light shines, you are so beautiful. But that's a deeper conversation. And we're in a room full of strangers, another awkward situation. The next time we meet, this time, you know my name, and I'm struggling to find the significance of these strange interactions. In your eyes, I see passion, the attachment. Then it happens. You told me you were married, and I was the apple of your eye, a fixed ration for your passion. You see, Samson fell asleep that night, just by the peace of her touch. Funny how something so delicate can break such a strong man. She told him what she was after, and he told her all his secrets. My secret is I need these eyes to be gouged out, but I've got such a hard head and a hard time letting you go, a hard time with self-control. So I hold you close in my bed, my sins, the promise made to another man, the reason why he bled. You see, from this iris is a bloodline connected to the pillars of my brain, wrapped around my soul, a strong man, falling asleep to her touch due to no self-control. So I pray one last time for God to make me strong. And as I pull away, these walls begin to fall. Another awkward situation. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? All right. I don't know where Courtney is, but I'm gonna give y'all two more, and then that'll be my night. Listen, if you guys, like I said, if you guys like anything that I've written, anything that I spoke tonight, just let me know. Give me a follow on Facebook, on Instagram. It's Traylius Curry. That's easy to remember. It's Trey Lie Us, because like all I do is lie to you guys. I promise you. But if you guys want to check out the merch, it's right over there. So, like I said, I have been all too familiar with Proverbs 7 because I had fell into the temptation of adultery. Actually, to the point to where it almost cost me my life. I was living up in Denton, in North Texas. This is like in 2016, and I fell into a relationship with a married woman, and all throughout our duration of being together, it was constant red flags. So, they talk about, they seen the red flags, but it was really a parade in their eyes. Like, that was me living out that meme. Like, I'm like, mama, you tripping. Kinfolk, you tripping. Like, there were people who knew me, who we hadn't talked to in years, who called me and said, hey, man, I don't know what you're going through, but listen, there was at one point in time I was with a woman and she was married and it almost led to my death. And I said, bro, what are you talking about? Blatantly, God has sent me a sign. I mean, the clearest voice from heaven ever. And I hung up the phone and continued doing what I was doing. And so God said, okay, well, you won't listen? I'll show you. Until one day, me, this woman, her newborn child, her innocent coworker, were driving down 35, me in the left lane behind the driver's seat. And as I go to change the song, I veered to the left, and in a panic, she grabs the steering wheel. In a panic, I step on the gas. We fly across 3 lanes of traffic. We hit a median. We come crashing down. Now, years before, I found myself in my mother's house, laying in her bed, depressed, chasing after strip clubs and money, drugs, my homeboys. And I said, God, I feel like the path that I'm on is going to lead to destruction. What I need you to do is to save my life before I kill myself or somebody else. And I woke up that next morning, unfazed and unchanged. So what did I do? I continued to live my life. Until now, here I am, falling. And all I could hear was God saying, I'm with you. Be still. We crash, hit a median. The window concaves to my face. Smoke coming from the engine. And she's screaming. Like, what happened? In a panic, we hop out. We grab the baby out the back seat. And I said, God, I hear you loud and clear. From that day, I walked away. It took months and months of me changing my life, but I knew what God had placed in me was for a reason. I went back to church. I got discipled and trained and started to walk the straight and narrow. I feel like that day, that life was my Damascus road. And my mother had seen that. Because I remember years ago, she said, Trey, How will you remain humble? And as a kid, I wondered. She said, what is humility? And my 4-foot frame couldn't wrap my mind around a word so complex. So I told her, I don't know. Years later, I would find out when I was too grown to be my own man inside their house. So every night through the window, I'd climb out. Now me, a homeless man, driving by once again, wishing I could get back in. My reflection in the window, a familiar face that I once knew. As a kid, my mother asked me, Trey, how will you remain humble? And as a kid, I wondered. I didn't yet understand what it was I possessed, this cockiness and arrogance I needed stripped from my skin. Felt like that was just holding me back from who I really am. So I thought about it. Years later, I would understand when I laid in the bed with a woman that already had a man, and our child's blood stains the sheets. We account for David's sins. All the time my car would wreck, the windshield inches from my skull. Damascus Road is so cold. I need an Ananias for my soul. Now, my son, can you see the sins you've committed? Can you see what humbleness really is? Y'all, I was on the phone with a friend, and she asked me, what does that word mean? Humility. Y'all, I tried my best to explain. She still doesn't understand. I pray she doesn't have to find out like I once did. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Listen, Courtney has bean pies. I have t-shirts. The Doc has books. And DJ 720X has your music. So without further ado, let me hand it over to the host, Miss Queen B. Love.
Y'all get up and trade list again. All right. Anybody else want to get up here again? Anybody feeling brave? Nobody? Y'all good? You sure, Iman?
What you got?
You sure, Iman?
Yeah. What you got?
I like you. I do. I like you. Thank you for being like a good sport, okay? I promise I'm not picking on you or anything. All right, I will close this out then with a poem. It's about change. All right. They say people come into your life for reasons or for seasons. They can bring new life or bleed you dry. And even though they outgrow their season, you still try to find a reason for them to stay. But there always comes a change. Change is the only constant thing that stays consistently the same. Expecting change to change would be the definition of insane, like living within an earthquake and not expecting to be shook. Look, routine just doesn't make sense. When change upsets your existence, it's hard to predict whether you're going or coming. Just know that a change soon comes. Because you can't schedule the inevitable, and change is as natural a disaster as a hurricane, and the subsequent flood of emotions is just as destructive without skills to cope with the aftermath that happens when worlds collide, when you stop chasing the pleasures of this life and seek only what God can provide. Change is greater than you or I. What God has already written is what it's meant to be. Change is a chance to be free. It is an evolution of mind, body, and soul. It is how life grows. Without it, we would never be born and we would never grow old. It is a soul-stirring awakening, a regenerative, heartbreaking yes. Change is scary. And it's okay to feel what you feel, but why fear side effects when you know the prescription will heal? So face it. Embrace it. Like a distant enemy seeking peace or a long-lost friend that's looking to reconnect, because change is inevitable. Or so they say. And that people come into your life for reasons or for seasons, maybe. I'm here to remind you of what change can do. See, I was born in the spring, and after all the rain poured onto me, I am still blossoming. Your season is just beginning. You are becoming who God wants you to be, just like me. Thank you. All right. Donna, you want to do the dog day again?
You want to give it a shot?
No. Layla, are you the one that wants to do it?
No.
Okay. Okay. Donna, are there any announcements you wanna? Got anything you wanna say? Okay. All right, y'all. Well, with that, that is the end of our open mic. If you don't mind, follow at Bean Pie and Try on Instagram or Bean Pie and Try on Facebook. Or you can follow me personally. I am the Queen Bee Love on Instagram, Courtney Queen Bee Love Hickerson on Facebook. Y'all, please give it up for the doc. Give it up for Traylon. Give it up for our DJ 728. Get t-shirts, get bean pies, and we will see you next week. All right. Peace.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. La, 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 la. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. It's Friday night. Try It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme and step to. Think of how many weeks shows I slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you thinking of this. You beat the feeling you miss. The rhyme from the microphone solo with Susan sit by the radio and on the console. As you hear it, pump on the hear it, pump on the hear it, pump on the
Pump up the volume. Yeah, right. All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Everybody's sleep. I sleep. Yeah, well, we used to call it doing an experiment on the inside of our eyelids.
All right, bro.